I heard that yesterday a lot of people came out and there was no panel.
Yeah.
I really apologize. That's really crappy. So we'll not answer any of your questions this time.
Hooray, let's get the questions started. Where are my question people? All right, there you go. Line up, go, 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 go. Throw a question out right now, somebody, anybody.
I have a question.
Yes, go.
Have you ever thought about just coming in on a day off dressed as Walker and see if anybody saw it? Like this?
That'd be hilarious.
Ooh.
Sneak in as a Walker extra.
I don't know if that thought has crossed my mind. I think you don't want to mess with that. Once you start messing with trying to look like a walker, they're gonna make you a walker. So why make it easier for them?
Yeah, anyone imagining, what would you look like? I mean, I don't know what that.
Right, yeah, screw that.
Yeah, they may get too confused and kill me, so stay away from me.
Yes.
Chad, is there an official rule that there can only be one black main character?
The question was, can there only be one black male actor at a time on the show? All other questions are going to go to the back.
That's funny, that's funny. Well, that couldn't possibly be true because we do have a character named Michonne, right? Huge. Then we have a Saniqua Martin Green, Sasha, right? So, that's something people like to play around with, but we're good with the African American representation.
There's only one Asian guy. Messed up.
Right, it only be one Asian.
There could be more of me.
Let's go to the next question in the back.
Steven,
yes.
Just quick question. This echo's really weird. A lot of the fans have noticed there's a correlation between you being more badass with the hat disappearing. Is that planned or?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like actively planned. I like hats myself, but I would say, when you see Glenn and you want to see his growth over time and see how he turns into a man, to put that specific hat back on makes him look like Short Round. And honestly, I love the history of what Short Round is, but I do not want that for my character. And I think we've come many, many moons past that. And so for here on out, maybe he'll find a different hat. Maybe he'll find a sweet-ass Detroit hat that he'll wear for
Nice. Next question. Yes, ma'am.
So, what if Rick died? Who would become the next leader of the group?
Perish the thought.
Right?
That ain't gonna happen. Carl. Judith.
I love it. How about the next question?
This is for all of you. How'd you guys get started acting, and what's some tips that you wish that you would have gotten when you started?
That's a long question.
That's a good question.
What?
What are some tips that you would have gotten?
Yeah. I'll lob that across a couple of you. So some tips in acting.
I don't know any tips, because if I did, I'd be so much better than I am right now.
But that's a really good question. I want to explore that. Hold on. So Emily, how about you? Any tips on acting?
I think one of the things that's helpful, it's such a, tough industry, I guess, to focus on your sort of like own path and your own education as an actor and focusing on the work and, it's a really competitive business and it has a lot of ups and downs, but I think if you're really tuned into like your path and not like, I don't know, everybody plays such different kinds of characters, so like my career might be very different from Steven's. Everybody's is so different, so you can't like really measure up to anybody else. To really like listen to your own voice and your own creativity, but then at the same time, learning from everyone that you can. So,
Good answer.
Chad, how about yourself? Any acting tips?
I'd just say be relentless, you know?
Yes.
And God knows you hear a lot of no's, but just don't accept no for an answer. And, you know, just keep grinding away and be open and as innovative as possible, you know? With social media being so huge now, you know, you can sell yourself. Don't forget it's a business. Definitely develop your craft, but don't forget it's a business, and it's all about, on one level, you have to sell yourself. You have to get exposure. So go into it knowing that you have to put as much into the business side of it as you do your craft.
Scott?
The way I got into acting, I hitchhiked from Georgia to California when I was 19. And I got drunk and ended up in an acting class.
Don't try that at home.
If I ever sober up.
Follow that up, Danny. I fell in love with acting while I was studying to be an engineer, and I got some great advice, actually, as I was starting out, which was follow your bliss. Another thing that I would add to that is listen to those with wisdom and experience. Disregard those who don't have wisdom and experience, the unwise and inexperienced. Be dogged and relentless, as Chad was saying, and also learn patience in this business, because oftentimes there's a lot of waiting, and there's a lot to be managed in terms of relationships with all kinds of people. So cultivate patience along with your relentless pursuit of your goals.
Yeah. Before we go to the next question, I want to pose something for them to think about. Can I mess with them? You guys ready? I've been dreaming of this one. All right, everybody look to the actor to their left. You for Steven. Imagine taking gender out of the equation. If you had been cast in that person's role, would you have approached it differently? Think about it, ponder, just mull it in your head in the background. Next question. Whoa. Hello. We're not going to answer it now, a little later.
Hey, I just wanted to say, first of all, how great it is to see you guys here. Really enjoy the show. I was just thrilled to find out that the usher who showed me to my seat was the actress who played Penny. What? Yeah, she rocks. But my question is, I'm sorry, I've been out of work for a while, so I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead. I think I watched the first 3 seasons in like 4 or 5 days. So sometimes when I'm at the grocery store or whatever, I'll see someone and I'll catch myself thinking, oh, maybe they're a zombie, because I've been watching so much Walking Dead recently. I was wondering, with all of the violence and traumatic things that happen to you, do you ever find yourself kind of affected by that afterwards with all the blood and gore?
Absolutely. I would say, the era of professionalism that's on set is very intense. We have a lot of fun in not having fun, if that makes sense. We take things pretty seriously, and it kind of trickles from top down. I remember last year, personally for me, the stuff that Glenn went through, I had to show up to set, and then they had to put all that makeup on my face as soon as I got there. So I would show up chipper, and then they would put all that stuff to batter my face up. That was for like a couple months. So I sat there looking like that at myself in the mirror, being in that mode, being in that mental state for a couple months. And I mean, you are a strong man if that doesn't affect you to some degree. So last year was tough for me, but in like a really great way. Like it was such an actor's journey in that regard, because you were living it out, especially being isolated in Georgia, in that area of Georgia too. So it was cool.
Whenever I have intense stuff to do, when I finish and wrap at the end of the day, there's a McDonald's like right at the end of the road. and I go get a Happy Meal. I'm good.
Does anybody else have any stories of where they've seen the bogeyman zombies in the corner out in the real world because it's just been so much on set?
No.
I don't see zombies.
Because it's
The Happy Meal works.
I would have conversations with the zombies on set. You know, I'd talk to the guy that was lying on the floor in the tombs, and it's like, hey, I said, where are you from? You know, that kind of stuff. So it kind of demystifies it to a little bit when you
That's
start
true.
doing that in between takes.
That's true. Can we go to the next question?
Well, first of all, guys, thank you so much. I love all of you. Been looking forward to this all day. But my question is just for Daniel. So, as a character on the show, if you sadly die and then it's confirmed that you can't come back, whether you're killed as a zombie or whether or not you make sure you can't come back, what is your role on the show?
What is the goal, the role?
Well, yeah, what is your role on the show if you can't come back as a zombie or if you are killed as a zombie? What do you do on the show?
What?
Like
You
as
don't.
an actor.
You don't.
And you're unemployed and then you, right, go to LA and get another job? I don't know, right? Is that what,
Yeah.
what do
Is there a
I
possible
do?
future for Alan? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like do you stay on the set or do you kind of just go do some other work?
Oh, right. No, I go on to other work. No, they don't keep you around on set to, you know, hang around and cheer everybody on.
We live in horse trailers.
The remaining episode. I was fortunate in that I was killed on the final episode, so I got to be there, you know, pretty much to the end. No, once you're gone, you're gone. And
Actually, he's been in a cage up until now.
Gone but not forgotten. The DVD lives on, right?
That's right. Thank you for the question. Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, when you're not filming, do you guys play pranks on each other?
Pranks.
If we play pranks on each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, one time I took your dog and took a bunch of pictures with his dog.
Yeah, that was hilarious. No. I mean, yeah.
I said I stole it, but
We have
I can't
fun.
think of anything.
Yeah, we have fun. We have fun on set. I mean, you know, like I said, there's an air of seriousness that we take because we're basically shooting something that should be shot over the course of like 20 days in 8 days. So there's no gag reel, you know. There's no like, oh, look at the season 3 bloopers, bros. Like we don't have that. Instead, you know, we make fun offset. You know, we just give each other crap all the time. Yeah. Scott is on me all the time. He's just jocking me all day. No, he doesn't. He loves me.
Wait till I do.
Damn it.
One of my favorite impromptu pranks, it was not something that anybody had specifically planned ahead of time, but on the day that we were shooting, it was the episode in which Merle dies. And there was the big massacre, all the zombies that he let in following the car. And so there were a ton of zombies on set that day. And as we were shooting, we were between takes, and a local school bus just rode past on the road, and all the kids were pressed against the window, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing, and all the zombies just turned around and started running toward the bus. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. That's awesome. God, could you imagine those parents? Mommy, there were these zombies! Yeah. Right. Next question.
Hello.
Hey.
My question's for Scott Wilson. If you were put in the same position as Herschel, you lost your leg, and there was walkers everywhere, do you feel like you would have the will to go on?
Yeah. How do you know I haven't been through that? I don't,
I
you know,
really
this is a terrific show to be on because of the actors that you're working with, the situations that are created, and what I think one of the strong points of the show is you see all of the characters put under pressure and dealing with situations that you would hope you'd never have to deal with in real life, and you see how they're responding to it, and you say, maybe that's the way you would do it, or you say, oh, I would do it different than that. But you're seeing a real representation of what people might do in a bad situation. I got a letter the other day from someone who was saying that after 35 years on the job, their job was outsourced to India. And that they'd worked on the job, I think I just said, for 35 years. So now they were in the same situation as Herschel, and they were trying to save their farm. They took care of their critters, and they had a horse to ride. And I thought it was interesting how people, I think it is interesting how people view elements of this show and relate it to things that that impact them. So how would I respond? I don't know. I'm trying to interpret the role that they give me.
Good answer. Yeah. Next question.
Hi.
There's two of you. Go.
If you had to choose one other cast member to survive the zombie apocalypse with, who would it be and why?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sorry.
I want to hear you say the word apocalypse again.
If you had to survive the zombie apocalypse with one other cast member, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Who would you take along for the ride?
There.
That's not fair. That's not a fair question.
I was going to say, isn't it just a given that...
Why are you trying to divide us up?
Exactly.
Why are you trying to break up our rhythm, our show?
I got to deal with this when I get back to work. Oh, you didn't choose me?
Yeah.
Why not? Why you choose me?
That's awesome. I think stick with the conventional wisdom. They stay calm and get behind Daryl Dixon. Isn't that what they say?
Hey, Governor.
Hey. I was wondering, of all the scenes that you've shot that we've seen, what's your favorite and why?
Of all this...
All the scenes that you've shot and we've seen, which one is your favorite and why?
Ooh, over the past 3 seasons.
I was saying when I told the governor that we wouldn't be going with him, I was like, thank God I came to my senses. I'm going to be partnering up with a maniac, so that was my favorite. And the look on my sister's face. I think she thought it was over for us for me saying that to her.
Anybody else have a favorite scene they want to share?
One of my favorite days was the day that we shot all the zombies coming out of the barn. That was a really cool special day. I was still just kind of starting on the show, and I got to know everyone in the cast, and it was really cool, and there were so many zombies. It was just a really cool special day, and I feel like it turned out really well too. Then watching it was really emotional.
That was a special day for other people. TJ, where's TJ? He was the first to come out of the barn. There he is, right there with his hand raised. There he is. First one out the gate, yeah. Who killed me?
I think I shot you. Didn't I shoot you?
Yeah, you shot me.
Yeah. I shot him.
How many people here have played the Walkers?
I've asked, there are a couple of walkers here. Savannah's in the audience, TJ's here, there's Savannah, who stands in for Carl, and she stood in for Penny. TJ's here.
I saw Kevin outside. I saw Swamp Walker out there.
Everyone that has raised their hand.
Yeah, raise your hands if you've been a walker on the show.
Yeah.
Now you see these people, ask them how they became walkers.
This is a question for Chad. I was really excited when you were cast as Tyrese because I played Left 4 Dead 2, and I know that you voiced Coach. And I don't know if you ever played that game at all, or if it was just a job, but I wanted to know if you would have the option, would you rather be in Zombie Apocalypse where the zombies are fast, mutated, but you're immune? Or would you rather be in the slow Zombie Apocalypse, but one bite and you're done?
Wow. That's deep.
Fast versus slow.
Yeah, I go slow. I'm already signed up. This 12.5 million people love this one. I'm gonna stick with this one.
Yeah, good. Does anybody want to choose fast, or everybody would choose slow? Yeah.
According to everyone's reaction to World War Z, I think we really choose slow.
That was an intense film. Yeah. There's some fast zombies. I did Zombieland, and let me tell you, I'm a fat kid, and that was hard. That was hard, running 17, 18 takes. Next question.
First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming out here. I'm a huge fan of the show. I'm looking forward to season 4. My question is for Emily. Just wondering if you'd like to see a relationship develop between you and Carl, since you two are so close in age.
Would I like it to is that what, sorry?
Possibility of
I guess you just have to wait and find out, right? I mean, I feel like I think, yeah. I mean, it would be. I think
you guys need to watch.
I think, yeah.
They need to see. Just watch.
Just watch.
Can I repeat the question in a different way? Do you feel that the scene that kind of gave the audience an inkling that there was a chemistry between the two of you was intentional? I mean, like, do you think? Okay. There you go. Next.
Okay, my question is for Scott. What was your reaction to Herschel losing his leg, and how did you prepare or adjust to it?
What was your reaction to Herschel losing his leg, and finding out adjusting?
It wasn't fun. But it was really the entire cast that day that was after Herschel got bit really busted and brought energy, take after take after take, and they were scooping him up and running him down the hall and breaking into the cafeteria. It was really a group effort to keep the energy level that high. I still remember that, and I will always respect the actors that were involved in that scene, because they really brought it, and they brought it all day long. Afterwards, after he lost the leg in the following episodes, it was, you know, it was, I think that the writers felt that they wanted something like that, because in real life that does happen, and they wanted someone to be representative of a lot of different parts of life, and that's one of them, unfortunately. But then you deal with what you have. So I thought that they did a good job of trying to keep Herschel on track. So it's been fun trying to work with all of that. It's an interesting situation.
For sure, because for fans of the graphic novel, they didn't see that coming, that's for sure. I have a question to jump with that. When you read the script to find out that your character got bit, did you know that you were going to be able to survive the bite? Or were you left just going, uh-oh?
I didn't know for sure, but I know that the previous season, I was told that I was going to be taken out.
Oh.
And
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Well, that's it. I'd say it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Sure, of course.
You know, and ultimately, they said it'd be script 11 or 12, and I read 11, and I was still alive. I read 12, I was still alive.
Yeah, I think your character grew so much more from season 3, and like what had happened to your character changed, I think, the direction of like the first appearance of the character, you know, just trying to keep your family and your homestead safe from outside forces, and now you've resigned to the fact there's like you carry this weariness, but you like have this sage wisdom to offer everyone, and you seem to be that mellow, hey, listen to me, I need all of you to get it together.
Looks are deceptive, aren't they?
But Scott, do you ever talk about the technical aspect of it? Do you ever, share that with the audience? Do they know how it's done,
Oh, yeah, the way they use a thing they call green screen or CGI, computer-generated imaging, where you wear this green sock and they shoot the green sock and then they shoot what would be behind the green sock and somehow or other put it together and it makes it appear that you have lost your leg. And also you have to hold your leg up quite a bit and try to hide it from the camera. It's interesting, and you're having to think of a lot of physical things too to make it work for camera. So it's fun. It's good.
And it's lime green. It's a lime green croc.
I've seen that croc.
Never
I was like,
seen before.
That's a great shoe.
When I first came on the show, I guess I was kind of spaced out, excited about being on the show. And I was like, wow. This dude is rocking a lime green croc.
Oh, fashion and comfort all in one. What's the next question?
Hey, how y'all doing? I'd just like to thank y'all for making it out to Dragon Con. We really appreciate you. Love the show. My question is for Chad. I just wanted to know how excited you was to land the role of Tyrese and what you're doing to prepare to bring out that role more this upcoming season. Because I feel like, we probably all feel like, he was kind of played down, but we know what type of character he is. So I just want to know how excited you was to get that.
Dangerous territory. Let's not talk about season 4. But whatever you want to get.
What he's preparing to do for it.
Oh, okay. Just help me out.
Sure. Like, finding out that you got the role of Tyrese. Like, how did you prepare for it? How are you ready? And are you ready to bring something different or more for the audience?
Yeah, first and foremost, this all kind of kicked off because I used to play this character on an HBO series called The Wire. Cuddy, see now I'm confused. Cuddy. And Robert Kirkman was a huge fan of The Wire. So, of course, you got all this. This show was an amazing hit, and it was incredibly exciting to come aboard. But I was like, wow, okay, I got to fill these shoes. And, when people get personally connected with something through the comic book, they can be easily disappointed if you don't hit the mark. So I had, great people around me, talking to Robert Kirkman, the showrunners, and they had a lot of trust in me. So it was awesome. Now, it was a slow roll out. As you see, I was recurring. And so we know that we have an amazing amount of comic book fans out there. So we wanted to kind of slow roll them out. And, we'll hit the gas in season 4. I think you guys will be really, really happy with what you see.
We'll take that, right? Next question.
Hi, I wanted to know, with all the plot twists that we've seen on this show, have you guys generally expected everything that happened, or was there ever anything that surprised you?
Yeah, any real surprises when you were reading the script?
I think every time. Yeah. Every time you get something, you're just like, oh crap, and then you read it, and then everybody calls each other, and you're like, did you read that? It's nuts. Yeah.
For anyone that leaves the show, do they get like a really long lead time to know that their character's leaving? Or is it like every time you read the script, you're like, just to make sure you're still there?
I think the producers and everybody handle it very respectfully, and people know in as much as it's good to know, and I don't know. It's not easy, but it's part of the thing, and we try to all handle it as pretty well as we can.
Yeah. Does anybody have any like real surprise things that they saw for their character that they didn't expect would have been written for them? That they were like, yeah, I get to do this. Like sing.
What? Sing.
Yeah, for like a surprise. Like, did you read the script and you're like, oh shit, I'm glad I can sing?
Well, I found out actually, Glenn had called me and told me about. So that wasn't a surprise when I read it. It was, I mean, a little bit of a surprise, like to see which song and everything, but he had sort of given me a bit of a heads up that he was thinking of having this moment where Beth and Maggie sing because they're sort of just sitting, waiting, and like, well, what do people do when they're just sitting, waiting, tired? You know, he had like that idea. So that one wasn't necessarily a surprise, but then the fact that it came up later and stuff, that was sort of a nice surprise, and I'm glad that it's sort of become a part of.
You should be very proud. You have a very lovely voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Take another question.
Hi, you all. Thank you so much for coming. I know you all film in Sonoya, Georgia, as well as Peachtree City, Georgia, which is my hometown. And it's kind of known as the golf cart capital of the world.
It sure is.
So I was wondering if you had taken a golf cart ride yet.
Yeah.
I haven't yet, but I almost got hit by a few of them while I was out running.
That's what, yeah, I like to run on those trails, and they come up really fast sometimes, you know, behind you.
Soccer moms on golf carts,
Yeah.
watch out.
Scott and I, we ride golf carts all the time. We ride golf carts all the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Every time I ride a golf cart, I get worse. I am a lousy golfer, and
That's not
getting
true.
worse.
Not true. I'm bad at golfing. Scott's good at golfing.
Next question.
Hey guys, I was just curious if any of you read the graphic novel, and if you do, does it make you nervous for the future of your character ever? Because the odds aren't good.
Could you repeat that? Because I was paying attention to something else. I've had a drink or two.
I was wondering if anyone was fans of the graphic novel, and if so, does it make you nervous for what's to come for your character?
Oh, as fans of the graphic novel, and you've read further ahead than what the series seems to have reached to, are you nervous about something that may or may not happen?
Well, I knew from point A they were going to play around with the convention because in the graphic novel, it's his daughter that he was with, and that's not the case. Coming out the box, it was my sister, not my wife. My sister. So I already knew that's the exciting part about the show. You know, it's the writers, you know, executive producers, but the guy who created it can play around with his convention. I think that's so cool for him to have the opportunity to re-examine his own stuff and be able to just have fun and go in this direction or that direction to keep everybody on their toes. I think that's great.
I was glad that Sasha was your sister, because when I first saw the two of you, I was like, he looks awful young to be her.
That's how I feel.
I was like, black don't crack, but... And then, you know what though, because I'm a fan of the show Once Upon a Time that she's on also, and I kept going, is she going to die on this show? Because look, it's rare that you see principals sharing double duty on two different shows.
That's right.
So I kept waiting to see which one she was going to die on to travel to one. I was like, this is an interesting juggle. And I'm sure none of you worried about that either. I'm gay and I watch both shows, sorry.
Now, I'll say an answer to that question just real quick. That as I'm a longtime fan of the comic books, predating my involvement with the show. And I think what Robert Kirkman and the writing team and the producers have done in terms of creating kind of an alternate universe is really fantastic. A what-if scenario. So it really creates a situation where all bets are off. For example, when I found out that I was playing Alan, who is a character from the comic books, I was thrilled, and then I came on and found out that they had essentially done Alan's death with Herschel, because losing the leg is how Alan buys it in the comic book, right? So when I found that out, then I was like, oh, well, I wonder what they're gonna do. You know, it really raises those questions. It creates lots of possibilities as far as where the writers might want to go.
Were you happy with the choice that they made?
Of how I died? Yeah, I loved standing up to the governor. I thought that was fantastic. It was a bit of a redemption for